Going live, going live. Woo! Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite Dark Sorcerer here, Michael Hyson, aka Angelus, son of Abaddon. Tonight, I'd like to take demonolatry to another level. I recently did a lecture on Azazel. Okay. Well, one of the other names that is associated with Azazel and dates back just as far as that of Belial. Okay. Also referred to as Belial. Okay. King Belial, Prince Belial. All right. Depending on the era that you are referencing, and most importantly, the tradition, we'll see him either as a king or a prince. For an example, in LaVeyan Satanism, the Satanic Bible by Anton Zander LaVey, he's known as a prince, one of four, third behind Satan and Lucifer. Okay? Now you notice what I said there. Prince, third in command behind Satan, the master of witches and warlocks, and Lucifer, the bringer of light, the day star. Okay? And then Belial, and finally Leviathan. Okay? This is just the way the setup is in LaVeyan Satanism, which is what most people go by today. But very few people go back into the old grimoires, such as the Grand Grimoire, okay, where he's known as a king. Go into White's Book of Black Magic, or that of ceremonial or ritual magic by him, okay? And you're going to see him as a king, okay? So today I'd like to discuss him, all right? From the Goetic, he's one of the 9 infernal kings. According to E.A. Coetin, he is an infernal gatekeeper. According to Turk Suzej, in the old Jewish and Islamic texts, he's known as a member of the Djinn, the infernal genies. Okay? Biblical, which is the first account that we come to, is First Samuel chapter 2, verses 11 through 36, which discusses the sons of Belial. All right. Now, this account goes all the way back into Sanskrit, specifically that of the Dead Sea Scrolls. All right. The Scroll of Amrin. Okay. Now, this is a very complex and, well, let's just call it a adversity type situation, because there was a lot of diverse emotional feelings when it comes to this specific scroll. Okay. Some say that it was a war between heaven and hell. Others describe it as political upheaval. Okay. Basically meaning those who are amongst the children of disobedience. Okay. So it does come down to what you believe and how you go about doing it throughout the texts in the grimoires, in the scrolls, and all of the information about him. Basically, he goes by many spellings, ranging from Balial, Balar, Belial with two L's, and Belial and Belial, which is his most ancient spelling. And that's with a Y apostrophe AL. Okay. Belial is known as the prince of iniquity and arrogance. His element is fire, and his direction is the south. Belial has the ability for political power. He bestows dignities and senatorships. And for those he favors, he also can give you got it, very, very good familiars, loyal ones too. I know this personally because I went through him to come in contact with my familiar. And henceforth is why he is known as the true master, or basically the master, because he's known as the individual. Okay, he who has no master. Belial is associated with both elements of fire and earth. Belial on the Tree of Life, aka Klipothic, is represented by the six-spot Tipperoth. Okay, the position is of the mental and that of the beauty of the earth, which Belial connects both to the awareness of all things. Okay. Hey, Seeking Serpent, hello. Welcome to the video. His colors are green, brown, and black, and his month is December. Okay. Belial is mentioned in the Dead Sea Scrolls, as I mentioned, as the leader of the sons and daughters of darkness and the chief of all devils. Okay. And it is said that he is opposed to that of Michael. Okay. The archangel. In Hebrew, depending on the time of the year, the time that it was written. Say, for example, today in Hebrew, he means faith, he who is like God. Back in cuneiform, which is medieval Pig Latin, okay, his name represents soul collector. And back in Sanskrit, means face of love. Okay, so Michael is the leader of the sons and daughters of light, waging war against that of Belial and the sons and daughters of darkness. Okay, and the Qumran text within the Testament of Amran, which is Q 543, 545 through 48. Belial is one of the watchers whose three titles are Belial, Prince of Darkness, and the King of Evil. All right. Belial is a mighty king. Um, he is a king created after Lucifer and shall appear as an angel, most beautiful, riding within a chariot of fire, speaking softly. This gatekeeper first fell before Michael, spelled Mikhail, and others heavenly angelics. His attributes are such that he can and will distribute senatorships and cast favors of friends and foes. It's proven he provides excellent familiars. The magician can provide both offerings and sacrifices to him. Okay. Now, anyone can go underneath any grimoire or Google and find his sigil, his personal seal. So I'm not going to get into that. Basically, Gustus Davison equates Belial with the order of virtues. Turksuzij equates Belial as a being both of demonic prince, third after Satan and Lucifer, and having ties to both the jinn and genies. Okay, so what do we gather from this? Well, we know that he accepts both offerings and sacrifices. Okay, the term necromancy, for an example, is within the biblical account in the book of Leviticus. I believe it's 17, verse 11, if I'm not mistaken, where it talks about the offerings and of both blood and, you get it, flesh. Okay. Now, this also played into a huge part of human sacrificing throughout the old world, such as that of Moloch, the prince of the Valley of Tears, who offerings of burnt children and other beings were basically accepted unto him at the foot of Mount Hermon. Okay. Now, what's ironic about Belial and what sets him apart is that he's so evil, he's so dark. He's one of the most powerful beings out there. He's an archangel, a watcher. Okay. But now he's a demonic lord. Okay. He's seen as a leader, somebody who doesn't follow. He's somebody that has such authority that he can do whatever he wants. He's a member of a major heavy hitting group, such as the Nine Kings of the Goetia, the Lesser Key of Solomon. He's considered to be one of the top ranking members of the underworld, running his own realm, his own dimension. Especially when you get there within the seven sins, the seven lords, okay, or the seven princes of sin. And you see how he's equated with being a master, somebody who doesn't bow to another. He's both respected and feared, able to be approached, but also willing to aid the magician who comes or sorcerer who comes to him. We also see where Belial gives excellent familiars. This could be any type of animal, okay, from familiar spirits to, say, cats, snakes, dogs, okay? And if you go with Azazel, you got goats, okay? Perhaps this is why the Middle East has been fully influenced by Belial, okay? Most of the Jewish texts, the Jewish Haggadah, the Jewish demonolatry, the Talmud, the Dead Sea Scrolls, all are Middle Eastern, okay, texts. They are heavily influenced by just Belial. All of these beings from that region are very much influencing their thought forms, how they're viewed either as a genie, a jinn, or a demon or an angelic, which goes along with the fall and the first war of heaven, where it said that Zazel was the one who started it. Another one says that it was Lucifer or Satan. But a lot of people assume that they're one and the same. When you ask a Christian about Satan or any one of these beings, the 15 beings mentioned in the Bible, it is said, oh, well, if you're not of my God, you're basically of Satan, so therefore it's Satan being all these beings. Well, we all know that's bullshit. But the point is, no matter what source of information you go to, there's references to much older texts. And the oldest text that I ever came across when studying and researching Belial is that from the Dead Sea Scrolls, where he's mentioned as the leader. The leader, which goes along with being able to bestow senatorships, which tells me he is the ruler of the underworld, or at least in his domain. Especially if you go by the Asian Buddhism, where it says that there are multiple hells. So if that's the case, then all of these lords, such as the Nine Kings, rule over their own independent hells, which also correlates to Dante's Inferno, that classic play, which was actually directed towards a cardinal, which is kind of cool. But you see the point. 7 sins, 7 lords of sin, 9 gatekeepers, 9 kings, influential numbers, astrology even. If he's so dark and so powerful, then what better planet would rule him or represent him than that of Saturn? Interesting, isn't it? Interpret this. How you doing? And salute 367. How you all doing? Welcome to the party. So basically, Belial is capable of a lot. But when we break down the 9 kings into their respective ideologies and what they're capable of doing, we see where Belial, Paimon, and Beleth are beings of influence. When you call on them, they're able to influence enemies, friends, even the legal system, perhaps even your own employer. Okay? And you get to see how these beings do this in the background. When you work within certain issues, topics, you always go to them and you ask for their help. You ask for their guidance, for them to open the doors for your benefit. Like I said, Belial, Paimon, and Beleth are beings of influence. Whereas, say for an example, let's go with Balaam, Persian, and Zagon are demons of art, science, knowledge. Okay? Let's call them alchemical based. And then the last 3 kings, Asmodeus, Viney, and the other one there is considered to be that of the science. Okay, so we got persuasion, knowledge, and science. Okay, all 3 categorizations. So by utilizing just say Belial for an example, you really see what he's capable of doing. When I first came to Maine, I called upon him, and I ended up getting within 4 months after being told, you won't get a place for 3 years. Guess what? Within 4 months, I had my apartment. Within 3 weeks, I had a job. Guess what? Belial opened those doors. For things that stood in my way, both Belial, Beleth, and Paimon really opened up those doors and persuaded individuals to favor me. So yeah, Belial is capable of doing a lot. Okay. So when we look at any given being, How far you take your magic with them is how far they're willing to go. So with that said, I hope this has been intellectual. I hope it's been enlightening. I want to thank everybody who has participated by showing up. And until next time, I'm signing off. Have a good night. And until next time.